What's up everyone, Ninth Jim here, back with another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video, and today we are talking about Scizor. This Pokemon is actually really strong with its really good ability Technician, boosting all of its 60 power or less moves up an additional 50%, making them really strong. We have the new move Dual Wingbeat that we can use on this Pokemon, destroying things like Rillaboom and Amoonguss, and even the Scizor in the mirror match. Although it'll just be neutral. Anyway, so yeah, today we're going to be covering a VGC build as well as a singles build, as well as speed tiers and damage calcs. So if that's what you're interested in, go ahead and like and subscribe and comment. Makes a big difference in my mood and everything about my life in general. Anyway, let's talk about Scizor. So, Bug Steel typing is pretty interesting, only having one weakness, but it is a quad weakness. It's fire, and then one immunity as well, being poison, and then a lot of resistances, being normal, grass, ice, psychic, bug, dragon, steel, and fairy. Now, its general bulk is pretty solid with 70 HP as well as 100 defense and 80 special defense. Overall, not anything to scuff at. Pretty bulky in general. Not super bulky, but like, you know, can take a couple of hits except for fire attacks. Those are pretty scary. We also have very solid stats as far as offense goes. You know, 130 attack is very solid, and with Technician boosting our little attack power moves to normal attack power moves, it makes it pretty solid of a Pokemon. It has a pretty good move pool as well to capitalize on that Technician. It used to be better. It had moves like, well, like knockoff does like 60, but or like but overall it's not bad. It's definitely a solid move pool still. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about the moveset. So, as far as VGC goes, this is the set we are running. We have the Ability Technician. Like I said, it's very strong for this. It buffs up Bullet Punch and Dual Wingbeat. After a Swords Dance, plus Technician, plus Life Orb, plus Stab, you are doing a lot of damage with things like Bullet Punch, which is really good. Plus it's +1 speed priority, so it's very strong. As far as our item goes, we are running Life Orb. You have definitely different options. Life Orb is just good because we get to stack those benefits. You can also run something like Assault Vest, Choice Band, or Akaberry. Assault Vest is pretty solid. It also still gives it the versatility to Dynamax. If you Choice Band, it doesn't really have the Dynamax potential as well. I mean, it still can Dynamax, obviously, but you just don't have an item at that point, and, you know, losing out on your item is really weak. And then you also have Akaberry, which is very good, having the super effective damage of fire-type attacks, which is really good. Stack that with Rain, and you're not even, like, too worried about fire-type attacks, so that's really cool. So yeah, that's about it for our item and ability. Let's go ahead and talk about moves. So the moveset we went with today was Bullet Punch, Dual Wingbeat, Swords Dance, and Protect. Now, Bullet Punch is +1 speed priority. It also gets affected by Technician, and after Swords Dance, it's unbelievably powerful. It also has speed priority, so it's really good. It also has Stab, Life Orb, you know, Swords Dance, Technician. You just like stack the boosts on the Bullet Punch, which is really good. And then we also have the new move Dual Wingbeat. Access to that move, it's very good. It has 40 base attack, but it hits twice, so it activates by Technician and hits twice, giving you 2 chances to crit as well. So Dual Wingbeat is very good. It's also you know, flying type, which is very solid right now with a lot of really good grass type Pokemon going around. We have Venusaur, Rillaboom, Amoonguss. I think even Virizion could be good this format. So yeah, Dual Wingbeat is good. And then we went with Swords Dance and Protect as well. Swords Dance is just good for this Pokemon whenever you're in the position to be able to do it, or if you have Follow Me with Amoonguss or Togekiss, then Swords Dance lets this Pokemon be absolutely insane. Swords Dance plus Technician plus Life Orb plus Stab makes for a really strong Bullet Punch, and, you know, without Stab, Dual Wingbeat is still just killing it. And then we also have Protect, which, I mean, Protect speaks for itself. It's just a good move. So, yeah. That's about it for the moveset. We do have some other good moves that you can use, though, so we'll talk about those. So Scizor and U-Turn both are good Bug Stab moves. We don't really have, you know, we don't have Bug Bite anymore, which was a 60 power move that was really good. Bug Stab, it was very strong. We don't have that anymore. So we have Scizor that you can take advantage of, but it doesn't take advantage of Technician, and U-Turn also doesn't take advantage of Technician, but it would definitely land on the Choice Band set. I'd probably just remove Protect for Choice Band, for U-Turn, and then Swords Dance maybe for Scizor, or like, you know, maybe Superpower or Giga Impact. Speaking of those other moves, we do have some other good coverage moves, Superpower and Giga Impact, and then we also have Iron Head if you don't want to go with Bullet Punch, but I think Bullet Punch is pretty optimal, so, you know, Iron Head is just an option, but I probably wouldn't run it. But, I mean, you could run Dual Steel as well. So yeah, that's about it for our moves. Let's talk about the EV spread real quick. It's very basic though, so just 252 into HP, 252 into attack, and then we put the leftover 4 into special defense, leaning into that special defense a little bit. It doesn't matter too much if you put that in defense or special defense. You know, it's mostly like preference and how you view your team is against the format. And then we also have Adamant Nature just being plus attack minus special attack, just so we can dish out a good bit of damage. You know, Adamant max attack, Technician, Life Orb, Swords Dance. These Pokemon's just packing a punch, and that's what you wanted to do. So as far as our that's about it for the build for VGC. Let's talk about some synergetic Pokemon. So first off, we have Togekiss. Mostly here for Follow Me. It also deals with you know, fire type Pokemon by absorbing a lot of those attacks. You know, it's not too worried about fire type attacks, and you know, Follow Me is pretty good for the Pokemon. It also has access to things like Max Airstream, giving Scizor a good bit of you know, speed control, which is it doesn't have since it's very, very slow. So it's not bad, or it's not very, very slow, it's just not very fast. And then we also have Politoed, just signifying anything rain wise. Definitely Politoed, you know, setting rain, making, you know, fire type attacks do half damage. Scizor really likes that. We've seen that with things like Ferrothorn in the past as well, where those Pokemon kind of just fit really well on a rain team. Just being able to take advantage of rain without dealing more damage or Swift Swim. Just taking advantage of fire type attacks, doing less damage, which is good. So that's going to be it for this slide. Let's go ahead and move on to some speed tiers. So speed tiers, honestly, there's not much to say here. We hit 85 as a speed tier, which isn't great. It's not too bad. We do outspeed some good Pokemon, things like Tyranitar, Jellicent, Lapras, Sylveon most of the time. All those Pokemon are going to be, you know, that 80 to 81. We outspeed other Pokemon, all the Trick Room guys, things like Hatterene, Reuniclus, Snorlax, Mudsdale, you know, Torkoal, Dusclops, all those Pokemon. And, you know, a couple of other Pokemon like Scrafty that we don't see very frequently, but is under us in that speed tier. So it's not the best speed tier, but, you know, it's not bad. We do outspeed a lot of good Pokemon that are pretty prevalent in the game. And then things that do outspeed us, though, there's a lot. You know, things that just barely outspeed us, Togekiss, Indeedee, Female, Rillaboom, Milotic, you know, and then everything fast, you know, or like even like mid to fast speed, things like Duraludon, Excadrill, all of those like mid to pretty high fast speed Pokemon we are being outsped by, but that shouldn't really come as any kind of surprise. So that's about it for our speed tiers. Let's move on to Dynamax. I always say Dynamax instead of Damage Calcs. I don't know why. They both start with D. I could say a lot worse things. Anyway, so Damage Calcs. So first off, we have Technician Scizor Bullet Punch into a very defensive Togekiss spread, hitting 61 to 73%, which is pretty solid. Hitting a guaranteed 2-hit KO, that's pretty solid. But when we also activate Swords Dance, it hits 120 to 143%, which is a guaranteed OHKO into a very defensive Togekiss. So there you get to see just like stacking all of these buffs on this 40 power base move, able to take out a really, really bulky good Pokemon, so that's pretty solid. Next we have our Life Orb Technician Scizor dual Wingbeat, hitting 2 times at 40 base power each, hitting a Rillaboom. This is the most common spread of Rillaboom, 252 HP and 60 defense, hitting 97 to 115, which is about a 93.8% chance to OHKO. Very, very solid. This is what we're looking for against Pokemon like that, being able to most likely OHKO, which is very good. Speaking of things that we probably won't OHKO, is Scizor dual Wingbeat into Amoonguss, hitting 252 HP and 252 defense. Is currently the most used spread. Bold Nature with max defense and HP. Maybe we'll see a transition go a little bit more into special defense. That's what Scizor wants to see, so that I can take the OHKO. But until then, we are only hitting 79% to 96%, which is a guaranteed 2-hit KO, making Amoonguss not the best against us. Or, you know, not the best against Amoonguss. Anyway, you could go Safety Goggles as well if you're really afraid of Amoonguss being able to block that Spore turn 1, since they know that you're not going to be able to kill them with Scizor. Anyway, next we have Scizor Bullet Punch into a Tyranitar. This is without Swords Dance, into its Dynamax form, hitting 65 to 79%, which is a guaranteed 2-hit KO, which is not bad. But after Swords Dance, we are OHKOing the Dynamaxed version of Tyranitar, which is very good with max HP. So we just bypass that weakness policy and kill that boy. Next we have Incineroar Flare Blitz into our Scizor, hitting 171 to 205%. Guaranteed OHKO, even has a chance of OHKOing our Dynamaxed form, which is pretty sucky. But in Rain, it only hits 83 to 101, which is a lot of damage, but only has a 6% chance to OHKO, which is not that bad. So, you know, the most prevalent Fire-type Pokemon, we are dodging an OHKO in Rain, most likely. which is good. Then next we have Cinderace, the other most prevalent fire-type Pokemon, hitting Pyro Ball into our Scizor. That's not even a max flare, it's just Pyro Ball, hitting 276 to 328%, which is an unbelievable amount of damage, easily able to OHKO our Dynamax form, and even in rain, capable of hitting an OHKO, a guaranteed OHKO, hitting 135. So even if it goes max flare as well, it'll be taking us out in rain. So Cinderace is a very, very scary Pokemon for this Pokemon to go up against. Anyway, that's going to be it for our damage calcs. Let's go ahead and move on to some singles spotlight. So as far as our singles build, it's pretty similar in all, Technician, Life Orb, the same. Makes sense, just doing max amount of damage we can. And then we're, running Swords Dance as well, just to take advantage of those turns where your opponent is repositioning. We have Bullet Punch and Dual Wingbeat as well, and then U-Turn for additional stab, and also just repositioning with doing a little bit of damage still. Although we are pretty slow, so you're not going to be U-Turning too frequently, but it's a good option. You can definitely switch up some of these for something like U-Turn, or even another stab move, X Scizor. Something like that. Anyway, Scizor is pretty cool. Oh, and then for our spread, we just ran 252 HP and 252 into attack, just being as damaging as possible. And you can, if you're playing Smogon rules, you can go down a little bit in HP to maximize your Life Orb intake or minimize it. Anyway, that's going to be it for our video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Scizor is really powerful in general. I think I do expect to see it a good bit in the meta in VGC 2020, not as much in past gens, especially since we don't have its, mega form anymore. But I still think it's a pretty strong Pokemon. Technician plus Life Orb plus Stab plus Swords Dance. You stack a lot of big attack buffs, and make the Pokemon do a lot of damage. So that's kind of what you want to do. Anyway, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, and have a great next 2 months. Goodbye.